Hello, Pilgrims. Most of you will already know that the Beatles are reissuing their early American albums on vinyl, mono, and cut from the master tapes, which they're making a big deal of. Now, a lot of people have asked why them albums when they're inferior to the UK editions, which they are, and that's because for American fans, that's their first exposure to the Beatles on an album. And that makes an indelible mark. I mean, it did for me. I mean, A Hard Day's Night was the first album for me. Somebody did me a cassette copy off of the record, and when I hear that album now, it's still get all these memories and emotions. So they're hoping that these people will want to buy a fresh copy, but it's the Beatles product; it will probably sell anyway. And some are asking rightly, why don't they repress the UK mono editions? Because they're quite rare now and they're very expensive if you can find one. I mean, the box set was very expensive when it first came out. I couldn't afford it. I bought the ones I wanted. I bought Rubber Soul, Revolver, Sergeant Pepper, and A Hard Day's Night. But there doesn't seem to be any movement on that either at the moment. But the biggest bugbear for a lot of people is, why aren't they doing the stereo albums from the master tapes? Why not? The people who are interested in them versions, the analogue records cut from the master tapes, we're here now. In 20 or 30 years, we might not be. And the younger kids, they're not really interested in the digital or analogue provenance. They're probably more into the fetish of playing vinyl than we ever were. I got into vinyl because it was the main format. I don't know. It seems like they're treating the stereo master tapes like museum exhibits. Secreted away. Don't touch them. Don't even look at them. But they're not the Rosetta Stone. They're not going to be there in a couple of thousand years' time. Within 50 years, it's just going to be demagnetized tape wrapped around a dusty tape spool. I don't understand it. I suppose this is more relevant for the Stones with regards to this. I mean, it's no surprise that Abbey Road is the Beatles' best-selling vinyl album from the last 15 years since the vinyl resurgence, because it's the one with the luxuriant production and it's the one with the natural stereo panning. With better recording technology and 8-track, you could produce recordings that allowed the vinyl format to show what it could do. And that's why they're remixing all those other albums, Sergeant Pepper and Revolver, because they're trying to attract the younger listener who won't listen to those almost primitive sounding stereo versions from the middle of the 60s. But this makes more sense for the Stones to be going for all analog master tapes. I mean, in 2017 or 16, they said they were bringing out their studio box set from 71 till Blue and Lonesome. You're like, great. And then you find out it's all digital. And it was very expensive. It was very expensive, and they didn't sell because about 6 months later I bought one. It cost me £120. £120. And it's worth having because the last 5 albums from Steel Wheels onwards are obviously digital recordings, and Voodoo Lounge and A Bigger Bang, they sound good. They give the CD a good run for their money. I think they might be better than the CD, to be honest with you. But anyway, Exile on Main Street, okay? All that warm distortion and that blurry bottom end, that's the perfect bedfellow for the mid-range haze of the vinyl format. They're made for each other. And Sticky Fingers, in fact, all them 70s albums. And, they did in 2010, they reissued Exile, didn't they, with all the extra tracks. And it made #1 in the UK albums chart, I think. So there's still, people are still interested in these records, these classic albums. And if they released Abbey Road as an analogue cut, people would buy it. And if they did Exile on Main Street and Sticky Fingers as an analogue cut, people would buy it. I don't know why they don't just start with that and see how they go. I don't know. I mean, if anyone out there knows why they're not doing this, let the rest of us know, because I'm clueless. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time.